If you're struggling to get that hard-hitting, punchy drum sound, today I'm going to be showcasing the solution for you, the Waves BB Tubes plugin. It has significantly transformed not only my drum sound, but how easy it is to get and achieve the sound that I've always been looking for and trying so hard to get, which is that punchy, crunchy, modern sound you hear on trap and boom bap. So if that's what you've been searching and you're looking for another solution, I'm telling you right now, this plugin is it. So if that's you, stay tuned, watch the video. Let's get started. So let's quickly go over some of the parameters here in this plugin. You have these two big knobs here, Beauty and Beast. And Beauty is even ordered harmonics and the Beast is odd ordered harmonics. And honestly, you just got to turn these up and hear what they do and see which one you like better or both. So we have sensitivity here, and this is going to control the input level feeding the tube circuits. Bass relief is honestly, I think, one of the most important knobs, because when you saturate a signal, if there is a lot of low end, it falls apart pretty quickly and starts sounding really unnatural. So if you relieve some of that low end by reducing it, you tend to get a better sounding signal, which you can then always adjust after the fact. So you're just cutting the low end before it hits the tube circuit so that it's not so distorted sounding and you have a little bit more control. So that's a helpful knob here. This transformer switch adds a little bit of that extra sauce if you'd like. The output knob here is just for adjusting the signal level after all of the processing. Here you have on the Beast mode, type A and type B, different circuit, different sound. Try it out and see what works best for you, but I will let you know and we can take a listen here as well. We have the tone section, which is going to be a pretty basic EQ that you can apply either pre-tube circuit or post-tube circuit. So let's say, for example, if your drums are sounding too bright after adding the tubes, then you can always reduce the high end a little bit here, or if you want to do that going into the tubes, you can do that as well. So they give you pre and post options. And another really important knob is this dry wet mix, and that's going to allow you to really distort the signal, but then mix some of that dry signal back in so you can kind of get a little bit more of that natural feel, the original character of the drums, but some of that distortion combined as well. So enough talking about the parameters. Let's give a listen to what all of this does and how it sounds. This is what the drums sounded like before I added the BB tubes. And after. Now that sounded crazy, but one of the most amazing things about this is not just how it sounds, but how the meters read. So before adding the plugin, if you look up here, the meter is going to read -6. So the signal is peaking on my drum bus -6. Check it out. Now, when we add the BB Tubes plugin, check the meters. I mean, we're actually reading a little bit lower in terms of peak value compared to the unprocessed signal, yet we sound like we're 3 dBs louder. So we're just getting a lot of RMS energy, perceived loudness, and not only is it distorting the sound in a pleasing way, it's adding just level and it's adding loudness, and it's just crazy how it's doing that. So let's go over some of these parameters here now that you know what the plugin sounds like and see if we can manipulate it to make it sound better, go extreme, dial back. Let's see what works. So I think I'm hearing the drums just get a little bit punchier, but there also is a little bit of a sound when this plugin is engaged with none of the processing actually turned up, which is pretty cool. So we're getting a little bit of a level increase from -6 to -4.8 with the transformer on and the plugin just being active. So let's start cranking up this beauty knob here and see what we get. So we gained a couple dBs of headroom just by turning up. I mean, we're turning up the signal processing, we're distorting it, and we're getting level out of it as well, which is just crazy. So I'm loving the sound so far, and this is with the even ordered harmonics. So before and after. Okay, so now let's turn down Beauty, and we're going to go over here to the Beast knob and see what it sounds like. All right, so roughly at about the same setting, we're getting a lot of headroom, which is awesome, but obviously some more notable sounding distortion. So I'm loving the sound. I'm loving the crunch. You can hear the edge and the grit that's coming from the odd ordered harmonics. But what if we add this bass relief in with this setting here and see if maybe that will help a little bit with how much of that uncontrolled distortion sound that we're hearing. Wow. So you hear how the bass just kind of gets tighter sounding, and it relieves that like uncontrolled, like I love the crunch of it, but when the bass was hitting with the kick, it just got a little bit uncontrolled sounding. So I'm loving what the bass relief knob is doing. Let's do an A/B with the plug-in off and then engaged. Wow. Okay, so now let's see what this pre and post EQ here is doing. Let's see here what we can do with this dry wet mix knob and see if maybe dialing back might also help with the sounding a little bit more natural. But when it comes to drums and the genres that I produce for, mainly boom bap and trap music, you want this kind of distorted, unnatural sounding drum. It's just the sound of the modern day. So let's just give it a try though. Yeah, that's boring. So let's see what the Type A and the Type B switch is doing. Sounds like Type A is giving us a little bit more lift, and Type B is giving us a little bit more low end. Yeah, Type A sounds like there's more punch, more lower mids. It all depends on the drum sounds that you're using, but for me, Type A seems to be the winner because I'm going to hear the drums probably, the way that I'm thinking is I'm going to hear the drums cut through in the mix more with Type A selected, and it's probably going to cut through better on speakers that can't reproduce low end very well. So yeah, Type A for me is going to be the winner here. Let's see what it sounds like with the transformer switch off with all of this processing on. Wow, it's just like a low mid boost. When the transformer is active with all of this processing on, you hear it way more. You need this on. Like, this doesn't make any sense to have the transformer switch off when it does that much boost in the low mids and the punch. It just makes everything sound more glorious. It's wild. I love it. What if we get a little dangerous and start boosting up Beauty with the Beast? Let's try it out. I'm bringing down the dry wet knob here, introducing more dry signal in. Trying to see if some bass relief helps. Maybe dial back on the beast. Let's see what it sounds like with the EQs set at Unity. I mean, like I said, this is a plugin that you just play around with until you get the sound that you like. There is no real science and particular numerical values that something's going to sound best on. I probably wouldn't do too much beauty when I have the beast up so much, because we're getting so much crunch and distortion from the beast tube that the beauty just doesn't really enhance it. It just starts to introduce more audible distortion. I love the sound of the beauty tube, but I think that the beast tube for me is going to create a little bit more of that mid-range and high-end distortion that I usually seek after. And it's cool to be able to have that tone control to kind of dial back on, you know, how extreme the distortion happens on a high end. So there you have it. That is the Waves BB Tubes plugin. And as you can hear, it completely transformed the quality of my drums, giving me that punch and crunch and loudness that I so often desired, but had to do so many different things to get to that point. But here, it was just with the simplicity of turning a couple knobs, and you heard the difference. It was absolutely incredible. So I'm convinced that if you produce boom bap, trap, or just want to transform the sound and distort your drums, this is the plugin and the simplest one on the market to do that job and do it effectively and make it sound great. So if you want to use this plugin, click the link in my description. And if you use that link, it will help support the channel to allow me to continue to make great quality content just for you. So thank you so much for watching. And until the next video, my name is Dax Hammer. God bless you.